man. We've been talking long enough. Let's get to, I'm going to go right down the list. Antonio in Oakland. Antonio, what's happening?
Hey, what's up, you guys? Yeah, man, Klay Thompson's been a great Warrior. I was at his 60-point in 29-minute game, He's very loved, helped us win a lot of championships. But, like his self-awareness is not good. He got to realize he's not that guy, and he's acting like he is that guy still. And if he goes to the Lakers to play with LeBron James, he's going to get the blame right when they start losing. If they go on a losing streak, if they lose in the playoff game, like if he goes 0 for 10, like he did in the playoff game or in the playing game, guess who's going to get the blame? He is. Because anytime he play with LeBron James,
but Antonio,
get the blame.
Let me ask you this. How's that different than here?
What do you mean?
Like, he got the blame for the play-in loss. He went 0 for 10. Everybody's 0 for 10. He got the blame for the Lakers series loss. I mean, he's got a lot of the blame. Klay Thompson.
Deeper.
What would be different?
Yeah, but there's nothing like being blamed by the media on TV, the Nick Wrights, the Colin Cowherds. I mean, come on now, man. He
is right about that.
I mean,
he is right about that.
Yeah, those clowns will do
media.
it.
That is so good.
They will do it. That's a good point. But again, I've heard from this fan base over the last 2 years. We've taken calls. I haven't forgotten the Klay dialogue and how it was so bad. I got a call from somebody Friday night late. I was about to go to bed. I get a call, and they're like, hey, man, I got to ask, man, you're over there. I'm on the East Coast, blah, blah, blah. Are they really talking? I'm reading some stuff about Klay Thompson. I can't believe it. I was like, yeah, that's kind of been the case over the last 2 years. And we get it. Why? We understand everything that's happened. Not saying Klay was a perfect Warrior, but he's going to get some blame. And he got a lot of blame here. He gets more blame than Draymond Green, who missed 27 games last season.
Not for me.
Not from you. You're one person.
I've been out on Draymond for multiple years, and I've made that pretty clear. And I probably got you in trouble because of it. But
you did not get me in trouble. Trust me. You did not get me in trouble.
Point being is that, again, it's everyone's prerogative. I would say this. Anybody that is, crushing Klay Thompson's going to come back around in a couple of years or whatever the time is right. Like, time heals all wounds.
You would hope so.
I think it will.
I still haven't seen Jeff Kidd around here. Maybe I'll miss that.
I still think if Jeff Kent showed up to Oracle, I think he'd get a standing ovation.
I hope so, but what the hell is taking so long? I mean, we just saw the way the Giants did Brian Sabian.
Well,
they did Brian Sabian wrong.
Not the fans.
Not the fan, but the front office. So we don't know how the front office. This is going to be very, very interesting. Let's go to we'll go to Robin Sambrino, then we'll get the BPA, and then we'll get to Jan in Sunnyvale. Jan's on the line. I love Jan. Robin Sambrino, what's happening?
What's going on, fellas? Look, before I get to my main point, I'm going to get one thing out about Klay Thompson. Last week I called, got the radios going, and then Robin came from my head. You know what I'm saying? I thought we was cool, Robin. But I'm just going to say this. Klay Thompson got more playoff wins than Steph Curry. Check the stats. But anyways, look, man.
Because Steph missed a bunch of time. That is true. That's factually correct. He missed time. But you're right. After the Houston slip and all that, and then, you're 100% correct. That's undeniable.
So Klay Thompson, when needed, stepped up, led the Warriors, and won playoff games. It wasn't like regular season games. He won playoff games. And let's not even forget the times, even the 2022 championship. Steph Curry missed the last 20 games. And who was the guy that was leading the charge? Oh, Klay Thompson, fresh off a knee injury, right? That guy, but he's a bum. But anyways, so the Warriors, man, I'm glad that Paul George trade didn't go through. That was desperate. I'm not giving that many players up for Paul George at 34.
I'm kind of with you.
What is this?
I'm with you.
What is this? And then this supposed to be the Golden State Warriors. When y'all 4-time champions been to the finals 6 times over this span, and y'all over here talking about Lloyd marketing? What is we doing here? Look, man. Steve Kerr, he came into it. This is what I'm saying. Steve Kerr, even Dunleavy, when Steve Kerr got here, the roster was already set. They came and added the Livingston. They came and added the most space, the little players here and there, and they filled out the roster. Now you got to develop those players. You got to develop that talent. They're not developing talent. Stop depending on the CBA to always messing things up. No, money can't buy everything. It's time for the players, the coaches in that room, the assistant, whatever coaches to start developing the young talent they're getting. You had Wiseman, a 7-footer. He ain't perfect, but he can get you easy baskets. You didn't want to develop him. You got Kuminga. Dude can jump, run. He can get you 20 a night, but you still don't want to develop him. You got Moody. Every time he plays, He's solid. He gonna get you 10 and 12 a night, 13. He can be a living type
Moody.
without the handle.
I like Moody.
And you still don't want to develop him. But you developing guys like the point guard who's not athletic enough to even be a starting point guard in the league. JD, he's solid, but he's a backup. So you developing lesser talent. And don't forget about them other guys you played. You didn't want to play Wiseman, but you playing dudes that's not even in the NBA no more over Wiseman, over Moody too, and Kuminga. So at the end of the day, it's time for the staff to realize, look, the run is over. We need to develop these young guys. If you got to get Draymond off the ball and put him on the bench, I'm doing that because I need to see if Kuminga is that guy. And I'm going to tell you all this. Steph Curry won't be able to do that by himself. The Warriors didn't get better this offseason. They got worse.
Rob, good call. Listen.
Right now, I agree with him. Right now.
What if
you've lost Klay and you've lost CP3.
What if Klay zoomed out? And when he looked at that one fan in Sacramento where he said, boy, I saw that one fan in Sacramento with the number 11 jersey, and I said, boy, I've come a long way. I played in the state championship game here. I'm playing in playoff games here. Wow. And he sees that one fan with a Klay Thompson jersey, and he's like, you know what? That's cool, right? What if Klay Thompson is zoomed out of this situation saying, you know what? I know I could be effective, but I have to work way too hard for my shot. And I understand I'm 34. I understand I can't do some of the things I can do. There's a better situation for me out there. What if Klay just thinks that? I mean, that's totally possible where he's just like, you know what? No hard feelings. I just think I could do better in this situation. I think they're more suited to win big games.
He might feel that way now, but I mean, I didn't get that same like graciousness from him at the in terms of like the situation. Like he didn't seem at ease with the situation at all year. Now, again, I'm reading body language and I'm like deciphering, messages that he's sending. It didn't feel like, to me, yes, maybe now he's come to that opinion and he's probably not wrong.
Right.
But I do believe if all things were equal and he'd gotten what he was looking for, I still think he'd be here.
I don't know if he would. I don't know. Now I'm starting to question.
So if he got a 3-year, whatever.
He probably signs it. But you know what, though, man? You know what, though? Like, I do think. And obviously it affected him going to the bench, and he ends up going to the bench, and he played well off the bench. But if you're Klay Thompson, you do have to feel some type of way about, boy, you just gave my spot to Brandon Pajewski. And I'm not ripping Brandon Pajewski. Brandon Pajewski had a hell of a rookie season. He exceeded my expectations. He's a gamer. But where's that go? Where's that going from here? And he did hit that rookie wall last season. He hit that rookie wall for a little bit, and he had to go back to the bench. I just wonder how he would have taken that. So it's just kind of crazy to me. Let's go to BPA. It might get a little crazier now that we have Brian and Palo Alto on the airwaves. What's up, BPA?
What's going on, guys? Yeah, I mean, look, I don't begrudge Klay at all, right? And obviously I was one of the people in the camp that, I didn't think he was, sort of worth an unlimited number. And I think that was sort of validated by the market. But, like, bottom line is, he's going to go to a contending team. The Warriors are not a contending team. Like, the Warriors, as constructed, are one of the worst teams in the NBA. Like, they were a 10 seed with Chris Paul and Klay Thompson last year. That's, 29 points a game, 10 assists. That's gone. And I don't even know how you replace it with letting Paul's salary expire, which to me, that is like, that is a failure. I don't care if teams are, they want to get out of the tax, but you traded Jordan Poole for Chris Paul, 1 year Chris Paul, and then you let it expire. It's a failure. It's on Dunleavy and Lakeup. I would advise Lakeup to get out there and engage the fans because he looks like Jerry Jones Lakeup right now. That's what he looks like.
That's not fair. BPA, you still there? You hung up? That's not fair. Unlike Jerry Jones, and now I get it, Jerry Jones has championships, but they got more dust on those, baby, than my treble at home. They got a lot of dust on those Super Bowls. They haven't gone to an NFC championship game since 1995. I think we need to see over what the next 10 years look like for Joe Lacob to start comparing him to Jerry Jones.
Well, I think it's
Put your mic on.
I think it's pretty fair to say that the next 10 years will not be as lucrative in terms of championships because it's just the history of the game. I mean, we don't know that. You can have a great run. No, I know.
We don't know that, but the new CBA may prevent you from having the dynasty, but we don't know what the next 10 years look like. That's unfair to say.
No, I think it's just reasonable to say, like logical to say.
Will it
like,
look like the same as the last decade?
Yeah, that's all.
No,
that's
of
all.
course not.
He can
Yeah.
still be wildly successful, but they think that they'll replicate what they did.
Yeah, 6 straight finals. Yeah,
it would be the most unprecedented thing in sports.
And that's the thing.
Because this last 10 years was one of the most unprecedented things in sports.
And I hope we can all sit back and appreciate what the Warriors just did for a decade. Yeah, no doubt. But I think it's a little too early to say, no, Joe Lacob's Larry Jones. How much tax money has he paid over the last 5 years, 6 years, 7 years? They had the most expensive team in basketball history last season, and they were the 10th seed. So now we're going to get old Joe Lacob and say, he's going to turn into Jerry Jones. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. We're trying to make moves. They're not making the moves. Has there been bad decisions over the last 3 years? Absolutely. And Joe Lacob admitted Kelly Oubre Jr. was a bad decision.
And here's what I would say to you about like, them being active and getting close. It just did the Clippers. That's fine now. But if 3 years from now, 4 years from now, 5 years from now, they're in the mix for all these guys and they're not landing any of them, well, then you start to enter the Farhan zone. That's a different, again, you're not there now, but down the line, if you can't, land one of these things, well, now we're having a different conversation about your tenure. And we're saying different things. But I think it's premature to say that today.
Yep. But part of me, too, is, when you look at the finances, you look at the books, they're now under that first and second apron. They're going to get under the cap. You're not going to be in the repeater tax, which is a big benefit for the Golden State Warriors. Their repeater tax kept going up and up and up and up and up. Now, kind of like this every single Giants, we're all clamoring to play the youngsters, play the youngsters, play the youngsters, play the youngsters. Well, as currently constructed, we're going to see a lot of the youngsters. And I'm okay with that. Yeah. Like, I'm okay with both ways. I'm like, all right, let's see what we have here. Now, again, you have Stephen Curry. And that's the enigma in this situation. What is Steph going to want? As we get to the All-Star game here in the Bay Area, and what if the Warriors are struggling? We get to that All-Star break, and all the Stephen A's and all the big wigs are out here in the All-Star break, the Nick Wrights and everything, and they start banging the table. What's next for Steph? Is he going to sign a veteran extension? Here's Bobby Marks. Bobby Marks, ESPN. Curry is eligible for an extension, folks.
Steph Curry is eligible to sign an extension this offseason for another year. What happens if he looks at this roster and says, wait a minute, my window is closing here. How much better are we going to get? I'm just going to play out the next 2 years.
That is the situation that is staring us in the face.
Well, I mean, we will cross that bridge when we need to. And when we need to cross that bridge, we will do the Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods photo at St. Andrews and we'll wave it goodbye. But until that moment, I'm going to cling to the hope that he doesn't want to do that.
No doubt. Here's a funny one.
Because that's the unthinkable.
Yeah, that is the unthinkable.
And I don't want to think about it.
It is, but that is looming large. That is looming large. See, this
Do you even know what bridge I'm talking about?
No, not really. 5-0, no, I'm just cooking, man. I'm just locked in. What have you done for me lately? It's the name of the game. Nobody cares how much money Joe Lacob has spent in taxes. And that's today's fan, unfortunately. So if you go by that thought process, what have you done for me lately? You're never going to be happy. You're just never going to be happy as a sports fan.
Well, you know what we're going to do over the next couple of years. If things play out the way it's looking, we are going to separate the diehards from the bandies, in the bandwagons.
Man.
We are going to really get back to who really loves the Warriors and who doesn't.
Who's taking games off, who's not taking games off, who's watching, who's not. Go ahead, Spinone. You got something to say?
I'm a Warriors fan all the way.
Yeah, this is via Jake Fisher. So obviously, what's on Clay? This is senior NBA reporter. No, not that Jake Fisher.
Before you introduce him, because he works for Yahoo Sports.
Correct, senior NBA reporter.
He had a rough day on draft day.
Oh no.
He was tweeting out a lot of, he just was wrong. Even Shane Young from Forbes. He's a high-volume
tweeter.
Yeah, he was, Shane Young from Forbes was like, yo, you should just put the Twitter down.
Oh, no. Well, then take this with a grain of salt then. So Klay Thompson is expected to choose between the Mavericks and the Lakers. It's down to two teams, those two in particular. So there you go.
Tell us something that we don't know, Jake Fisher.
Is it going to land different if he goes to the Lakers directly after for a 1 year deal?
If he goes to the Lakers, oh my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
Who is the most hated ex-Warrior of all time?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, man.
Lucky us.
Don't leave you.
I didn't want to say it.
He was getting destroyed on social yesterday. No, but I'm just saying. You brought him up. Everyone was bringing up his career up until yesterday, too.
Forget his career for a second. Forget his career.
I did boo him, though, when he was playing. Well, I admit it. I'll tell him. And I'll feel foolish, but I did.
Forget his career for a second.
I wanted Jay Will.
Him as an executive. You make a good pick for Pods, who everybody loves, right?
Yeah.
TJD. Yeah. We got people feeling TJD, right? He made the move.
Yeah.
Made the move.
Yeah. Shed $78 million in salary.
Exactly. And then got off the Jordan Poole deal, which a lot of people aren't Jordan Poole fans. So we got that contract off.
But see, the one that sticks in my craw, I don't even know where that term comes from. It's the freaking Draymond deal.
Well, did he do the deal?
That's where I was going.